Hey everybody, welcome back to A Girl's Podcast with your host Jasmine Rule. Yes, today I am very unorganized, which is to be expected perhaps. I have had a very busy time this weekend. Some people have been a little bit unkind to me, but I'm not going to talk about that today because it is potentially an interesting topic that I would need to research before I talk about it. Anyway, so today we are talking about manifestation and what that means for me. Okay, so first of all, I had a wonderful experience this week where I found an Etch-a-Sketch at work. So at work, we have a room, like a garage, where you can throw away your things, recycle, whatever, and all sorts of things get thrown away, mostly like clothes and books, because where I work there's a second-hand shop, and they throw away anything that doesn't sell. So fortunately for me, somebody threw away this Etch-a-Sketch, so I picked it up and it's working just fine, just like an Etch-a-Sketch should work, so that's a positive. But the really interesting thing is that in the days preceding me finding this Etch-a-Sketch, I was thinking about how I have an Etch-a-Sketch back in New Zealand and I'm hoping that Mum doesn't throw it away. So like 2 days before I found this one, I was thinking, man, I hope Mum doesn't throw my Etch-a-Sketch away. Maybe I should message her and tell her to, not throw it away. But now I don't even have to, because I found an Etch-a-Sketch. I manifested an Etch-a-Sketch. How incredible is that? It doesn't get any better than that. So this leads obviously to the topic of manifestation, what it means, how people do it, is it a cult, what's going on. It sounds very strange and very new age garbage type of thing. So the rules around manifestation. So some people believe that if you think, if you create an image in your mind of the things that you want and you just believe that you are going to have it, or you pretend that you already do have it, then those things will come to you automatically. Like you'll just put out like a magnet and the things will come to you. So basically, like me having an image in my mind of the Etch-a-Sketch makes it like a magnet so that the Etch-a-Sketch comes to me, right? And obviously it worked because I have my Etch-a-Sketch. So that's possibly like an extreme case of believing in manifestation, where you literally believe that holding the image in your mind will produce the thing that you're imagining. So it could be money, it could be love, it could be happiness. That's probably one of the big ones, like just imagining yourself being happy will bring happiness into your life. So there are podcasts for this. I've listened to some. I've listened to this lady talking about how you just gotta imagine a pile of money and you'll have a pile of money. And there's also, like, it's a lot to do with like image boards. So you'll find podcasts or videos about creating an image board of all the things that you want and that they'll come to you. So you might take a whole bunch of magazines and cut out like a Ferrari or a Tesla or whatever and paste it over another image of like a lady doing yoga and being connected with her feelings and things like that. You might cut out images of a lovely summer holiday and put it on your little image board. So this is called a dream board, and it's part of the manifestation process. I don't go that far. So my feelings around the whole idea of manifestation and this sort of pseudoscience, would you even call it that? It's not even like, I don't know. But my feelings towards it are, there's some elements of it that I think are quite useful for you or for people in their life. Like, for example, the whole idea of keeping an image in your mind of what you want, that's really, it could be really useful. Like, if I picture myself in a position of being a boss, then obviously I'm never going to forget that that's my goal. So I'm constantly going to be reminded that that's what I'm working towards. And if you work towards something, you're probably increasing your chances of that thing happening. Like, if I don't think about being a boss and I don't think about increasing my position in a company or whatever, then I'm not likely to take actions towards doing that. So then it's not really gonna happen, right? Like, why would I become a boss if I'm not doing anything to bring about that sort of change? So there's things like that where I'm like, well, you know, creating an image board, having these ideas in your mind, you know, about life goals, that can be a good idea. Like, that is something that everybody could possibly use. But where manifestation philosophy becomes a little bit not really my thing is that there are people who say that you shouldn't physically do anything to get that, to make these things happen. Like, you shouldn't think about like, oh, I have to create a plan to become a boss. I shouldn't physically do anything to make these things happen, because, and why do they say that? Because, and they say that it's because if you make a plan to bring these changes about, that means that you aren't believing in the process. And if you're not believing in the process of just manifesting, then you're not going to be able to manifest it because you don't believe in it. So it's like this crazy idea that you have to fully believe that the universe is going to give you stuff, which means that you can't do anything to actually get it yourself, because then you aren't trusting the universe to give it to you. It's a lot. And that's where I completely disagree with the philosophy, because people hardly ever don't do things to bring prosperity or to increase their happiness. Like, people who are happy and successful, they do things to make that happen. Like, I've never seen anyone just sit there and imagine a happy life and it just happens. And I don't even know like how that would look. How would that possibly happen? I mean, if you physically do absolutely nothing at all to bring about friendship or money or whatever, then aren't you just sitting at home and in basically a vegetative state, right? Like, we all do things, we all live and go about in the world with an idea of what we want, surely, and that influences our actions. So I think that people who believe in that side of manifestation is not very relatable. And I'm not really sure, like, the percentage of people who believe in manifestation that believe in that extreme side. I have no idea. And I'm not saying either that I believe in manifestation, but I have quite a few stories about really good things that happened to me. And this is where I kind of lean more towards like a karmic view of the world. Okay, so for example, I pretty much have a lot of good luck, and people that I know have really bad luck. And when I think about the things that are different between myself and these other people, is that I tend to do a lot of nice things. Like, this is where I'm going to sound like really vain and thinking that I'm super awesome, but I've done some pretty cool stuff. So like, for example, last week I was at the supermarket and there was a guy who had some sort of hearing issues. I don't know if he was completely deaf or not, but he did sound like he was deaf, you know, the way that he was talking. And then he was obviously having difficulties understanding what the cashier was saying at the supermarket. So anyway, I was standing behind him and the cashier was telling him that he had to press a button on the credit card machine to cancel it so that he could pay with cash. Anyway, so the guy didn't understand, but eventually it got around to an understanding, and then the possibly deaf guy gave his money, and then he was going to get some coins back from this machine that just deals out the change automatically, right? So the change gets dealt out, but the deaf guy, he doesn't really seem to notice that he's gotten change back, and I didn't notice either. I just saw that he was like looking at his receipt and like checking everything, and then it was my turn, so I paid for my stuff, and I was also going to get coins back. So the machine deals out my 2 krona, and I saw that the deaf guy's 2 krona were still there in the machine. Now usually what people would do is they would just take the coins, you know, all the coins for themselves, because, like, you know, finders keepers, right? But I took the 2 coins and I touched the guy on the shoulder because I thought he was deaf, right? So there's no point in me being like, hey, and like not doing anything physical. But I did say ursäkta mig. But anyway, so he like spins around, you know, he's quite surprised, and anyway, he knocks the coins out of my hand, but I kneel down and I pick them up, and then I give him his 2 coins and he says thank you. So yeah, so I did a nice thing. I made sure that he got his change back, which is kind of important because I mean, people who pay with cash in Sweden, it's really uncommon, and it's usually like people who are on like a tight budget. So it's good that he would get his change back because, you know, when you're in a tight spot, every krona counts, right? So that happened, and then I have really good luck after that. Like, somebody invited me, you know, they were gonna shout me a cola, right? So I got a free cola, so I already like made my money back, you know, just being a nice person, right? But also, like, so much other good stuff always happens to me all the time. Like, I find interesting things on the ground, I get invited to things that, like, I don't see negative people being invited to happy fun events. What else good happens to me? I have, you know, good luck with, like, you know, online success. You know, like this month I made like an extra 800 bucks online. I mean, you know, this is stuff that is kind of making a really positive difference in my life, right? And it's, you know, I kind of put out good things into the world. You know, I do dog sitting for free. You know, I do, I'm watering an elderly couple's plants for them while they're away, you know, and I don't take money for that. But, you know, the world pays me back in a way, you know? So I kind of believe in like the whole karma situation. But then on the other hand, if we're thinking about it logically, do good things really happen to me more often, or do I just have a more positive outlook? And I have an example of where positive outlook could be playing more of a role in this whole karma manifestation situation question going on. Okay, so the last day of last week, I was sitting on the train to work and I was listening to a podcast, having a, you know, just an early morning, feeling a little bit tired, and I felt way more tired and out of it the closer I got to work. And, you know, I still wear a face mask on the train, even though I've got vaccinated, because I have no idea everybody else's health status, so still going to wear a face mask. And this meant that my glasses would get dimmed up really easily. So I took my glasses off, had them on the seat beside me on the train, and then, you know, we finally pull up to my station. I get up, grab my handbag, and walking along, hop off the train, walk in a little bit, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, I don't have my glasses. And the train doors are about to shut. So I turn around, I run back to the train, I hop on the train, the doors shut on me, so I'm like jammed in the doors. The doors open, which is pretty incredible, because like honestly, if you guys have like tried to jump on the train when the doors are closing in Stockholm, like most of the time you get kicked out, like you like have to like go back out and you miss the train, right? But by some sheer luck, the universe let me onto the train. So I get on the train takes off to the next station. I'm frantically searching for my glasses, but I don't have my glasses on, so it's a little bit difficult to find them. I find my glasses eventually, put them on, walk back, hop off the train at the next stop. The train going back to my stop that I should be at is at the station. I hop on that one, I get back, I walk to work. I end up being like 5 minutes late to work, which is nothing, and my day feels like it has been saved. It is super awesome, and I'm like, heck yeah, best luck in the world. I didn't lose my glasses on the train, and I'm feeling super awesome. However, did I have good luck, or did I have really bad luck that I forgot my glasses on the train? You know, because perhaps another person would feel like, I had the worst morning. I left my glasses on the train. I managed to get them, but it was so stressful and awful, and I had to go to one station and then back to a station and then hop off, and then I was 5 minutes late to work. It was so awful. But me, I feel like I have the best luck in the world because I didn't lose my glasses, and it was like a really exciting story. Like, I've never had that happen to me before. What an experience. Thank you, world. So this is where I'm kind of thinking that perhaps a large portion of where I feel like karma is on my side is possibly just the way that I think about things, because another person would have experienced that situation completely differently. Speaking of karma, my dear auntie sent this mug to me with a whole bunch of other goodies as a moving in present for when I bought my apartment. It says, "Dear Karma, I have a list of people you missed." Generally speaking though, if we're talking about karma and people who deserve negative karma, I generally feel like the people who I think are bad people and who deserve bad karma, I feel as though they are already having bad karma, because all of the people that I don't like at work are grumpy, miserable people. Like, they come to work and they call me up and they're like, "Hey Jasmine, you did this wrong, where's my packet, rah, 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 rah." and I'm sitting there like, oh, I'll have a look, don't you worry, I'll fix it. And they have such a negative energy that I already feel like they're pretty miserable. Like, I don't think that they're going home and having a wonderful time. So I think that people who are already negative are kind of like, they've already gotten their karma, because they can't be happy at work, right? They can't be happy like half the day, and then do they go home and then they're happy? I don't know, probably not. So I don't really worry too much about like mean people, because I think that they're already having like bad karma all the time anyway, so that's good. Thanks, karma, for ruining their lives for me. Less work for me to do. Okay, so the next section is to talk about people who I know who say that they have bad luck, have bad karma, the world is not manifesting good things for them. I know a specific person. I'm not going to mention names, and I'm going to try and keep details to the minimum so that they don't feel attacked or anything like that. But anyway, they feel as though they have really bad luck, and they have very specific examples of that bad luck. And when I look at that, I think, yeah, that sounds like bad luck. So let's give some vague examples. This person wanted to get their boat license. So they're living in Stockholm, wanting to get their license to drive their boat, right? And they study hard, they try and get it, and they've already bought a boat, right? They've already bought the boat, they just need the license. They go and they take the test and they fail. And once they fail, they decide that they have to sell their boat, and their whole dream of having a boat all summer long and, every year working on their boat is completely destroyed, completely ruined, and they're going to abandon that dream forever. So they sell their boat. It's already happened. No boat for them, no boat license, and they're pretty gutted about it. But they accept it. They accept their fate. I'm not going to say that they, don't accept it. They truly believe that they have bad luck, and that it's better that they just forget about this happy little boat dream that they have. When I think about that situation, I think to myself, not getting your boat license the first time around, it's not the end of the world, right? Sometimes you need to have more than one shot at it, possibly because there is something very specific that you missed, that it would be better if you did study a little bit more on that specific thing and then come back and get it right the second time. And perhaps what the universe was actually thinking that they should do was take their loss, go home, study a bit more, and then come back and take their boat license the next year. But what this person did instead was give up, make their loss an even bigger loss, and not take their boat license at all, and sell their boat at a loss, so they lost quite a bit of money in this situation. That's bad, right? That's bad. And if I'm gonna be honest, I think that they brought most of the negativity to that situation. They didn't have to sell their boat. They didn't have to give up on their boat dream. But they chose to. They chose to believe that they had really bad luck, and that this boat dream was just too much and just wasn't for them. But even as I say that, I do wonder, because there's a third way to look at it, that the universe really never wanted them to have this boat dream. That them getting their boat license was never, ever, ever supposed to happen. And that it's really good that they gave up on the boat dream. But, you know, you do have to have dreams, and they're still going to feel bad that they didn't have this boat dream. So, I'm not completely sold on it. But, anyway, so that's just one example of this person. But you can imagine that there's a lot more examples of where something small, bad that happened gets turned into a big bad thing, where they had to, you know, lose a lot of money, or maybe lose friendships, or maybe lose self-confidence, just because of like a small bad thing, and then they just, woof, now it's a huge bad thing, right? So they, in a way, brought about bad karma. So if they just changed their thinking, then they would possibly feel like I feel, which is like, man, I have super good luck, super awesome. But then you have to ask yourself, are they a bad person? Is that why these bad things happen? Because I don't know, maybe. I mean, if we believe in karma, then I would have to believe that he or she was a really bad person, and that that's why these bad things happen, and that it's a good thing that they gave up on their boat dream because they're a really bad person who don't deserve to be happy. I don't know. But I don't really want to talk about their personality, because then I feel like people would figure out who it is. But anyway, that's an example of where I think you can possibly manifest bad situations, and where karma is perhaps not really real, because it's more of like a mind thing. It's about how you think about the situations. So, getting back to the Etch-a-Sketch. Do I actually believe that I manifested an Etch-a-Sketch? To be honest, okay, I never believed in manifestation in the beginning, right? I just kind of thought, if I have a positive attitude, if I have in mind the goals that I want to have, then I'm going to be able to work towards them and make positive changes. But when I found the Etch-a-Sketch, not like a day after I was thinking about my Etch-a-Sketch back home, I kind of like believing that perhaps this manifestation thing is really real, because who even owns Etch-a-Sketches these days? How? Like, how did it end up in the rubbish bin that I was looking at? What? How does this even happen? So there is a little part of me now that does believe in manifestation, and perhaps my goal for the next month is to try and manifest new things. So perhaps there'll be an update on this manifestation situation, where I will report back on things that I've manifested or have been unable to manifest, and I can talk about successes, losses, what I've been trying to manifest, and things like that. What would I want to manifest right now? I would love to manifest a pair of roller derby skates. You know, the ones that have like 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Because right now I have inline skates, which is 4 in a row, right? I would love a pair of those roller derby skates, preferably in white with pink wheels. So I'm going to try and manifest that, and I will possibly make an update and see if I manage to get those. But obviously, I guess I'm not supposed to buy them. That would be cheating. Yeah, but we'll see. So my plan to get myself a free pair of skates and have a really good time. So we'll come back to this situation, and I think that that's enough for this podcast today. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. Let me know what you think about the manifestation karma thing. I guess you shouldn't like put them together, but I do feel like the concepts are in a way kind of linked. But yeah, what do I know? So yeah, hit the like button, leave a comment. I'm really enjoying the comments section. You guys have like some really cool ideas, like interesting ideas, you know, and I appreciate people not being afraid to say what they think and feel, because, you know, we don't all have to have the same opinions, and I think in these times it's good to be able to express our fears and our worries. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for me. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Easter. Don't forget Easter. Catch you guys all next time. Hey, door.